Hello and welcome to Nerfed Reflexes, where skill is optional, but fun is mandatory. Today, I figured we'd do something a little bit different. We're gonna watch grass grow. Today's my birthday, and you know what? I've been doing a lot of crazy stuff lately. Like I controlled a kraken that was mad at the ocean and vacuumed up a ton of garbage from the ocean. I controlled a princess that crash landed onto another planet from outer space and fell in love with a dragon, and she was wielding rocket launchers and stuff. It's been a lot of chaos lately, and I just want to take a deep breath and relax. So I figured, you know what better way to do that than to literally watch grass grow. So here we are. Welcome to watching grass grow. Welcome to Watching Grass Grow Simulator. And you know what? To spice things up a bit, and to pass the time, I decided to dig into my Dropbox files, and I found some of my old ENC 1101, first year of college English classes, essays from an essay class I took. And I figured I would read these, because I think some of them are pretty funny, and they're pretty cringe. Let's see. Yeah, these are all from November, October, late 2010. So we're talking 16 years ago, people. These essays that I wrote, they're short, but they're from 16 years ago. Oh, wow. Oh, look how much the grass has grown already. Wow, it was literally nothing when we started. All right, cool. Anyways, let me go back to my essays on this beautiful morning. Let's start with, you know what? This one's pretty fun. This one's called A 6-Day-Old Zombie Slayer. Yeah, you heard that right. The title of this essay is 6-Day-Old Zombie Slayer. Excuse me. And it starts like this. I believe that everyone on this planet was put here for a purpose. The length of their existence, the things they accomplished while, their heart was still pounding, and the connections they made no difference. It may not always be apparent, but there is a reason why some omnipotent being knowingly placed them there, even if that person's life was to tragically end within minutes. Even if your religious views are, far distant from mine, perhaps you believe in coincidence. To the critic that takes this for propaganda, I implore you to read on, even if you take the story for face value. Bill Daniels and Jean Broom were a match made in heaven. If there ever was a perfect relationship, it belonged to them. Bill was a very hard-working airplane mechanic. He came home every day with dirt and grease permanently tattooed under his nails. His hair resembling a palm tree during a Category 5 hurricane, multicolored stains on his clothes, and emanating various noxious odors. Jean was a first-year college student and unsure of what path she chose for her life. Together, they lived a simple yet comfortable life full of love and joy. With all of this brightness, there has to be a dark cloud somewhere, though, right? After all, the universe does have a way of balancing itself out. One rainy spring morning, the perfect couple was interrupted from their ritualistic pancake, ham, and eggs breakfast by a booming blow at the front door. Confused, they raced to see what happened. Bill opened the large wooden door only to find a bloody mess. Remnants of a 6-day-old infant painted the cement stairs to Bill and Jean's home. Sirens could be heard screaming in the distance as lights flickered between houses and through trees on the next street over. After much shock-induced pancake... Let me try that sentence over. After much shock-induced pancake regurgitation... Man, 16 years ago, I did not make this easy on myself. Shame on you, 16-year younger Austin. After much shock-induced pancake regurgitation, the cause of the terrible accident was discovered. A new mutation of influenza was to be the main factor in all of this. Accompanying the typical symptoms, this strain had much more to offer. Extreme flatulence and anemia were the major two. Unfortunately, this baby contracted the virus, and at the time, there was no cure. After a couple of days of dealing with the smell, the mother could not put up with it anymore, so she applied several layers of duct tape to the child's derriere, hoping to stop the farts altogether. This is where basic physics come into play. The poor child built up so much pressure in his gastrointestinal tract that, from the gas not being able to escape, eventually the tape could not withstand the pressure and ripped open. I'm sure at some point in your life, you've played with balloons. You've inflated one, and then you released it without tying the end, and watched it fly all around the room in chaos. Well, this is what happened to the 6-day-old Max Barnes. Max's bedroom window was open when the duct tape gave out. The pressure built up launched him over 150 yards before detonating on Bill's front door. What is wrong with me? It's so hard to read this without laughing, and it's so terrible. You're probably thinking that this is an awful story, but there is a silver lining. I can't, dude. Oh, man. 16 years ago, my mind's still twisted. Anyways, okay. Back to the story. Jane was so horrified from this that she dedicated the rest of her life to finding a cure for the flu. It is because of this woman that the human race has not seen one sign of influenza in over 4 centuries. She is also accidentally responsible for preventing the zombie outbreak of 2552. It just so happened that her miracle cure for the flu also acted as an immunization to prevent further spreading of the virus. From post-it notes to nitrogen-propelled babies, accidents happen for a reason. Max Barnes may have only resided on our planet for 150 hours, but left an impact spanning years in Jean's life. In a way, you could say he is responsible for the cure. Little Max went out with a bang, but prevented the rest of the planet from falling to the same fate. Oh my god. There's no way I can read this with the visual, right? I'm just imagining a cartoon baby farting so hard that it flies out of a window. Get your stuff together, Austin. All right. So that that was the end of a 6-day-old zombie slayer. Oh, how's the grass going, by the way? Let me move this out the way. Oh yeah, look at that. Huh. The grass, it's grown quite a bit. Looks like it's a pretty windy day out there, too. There's a flag on the left that says, wait for it. I wonder if that little banner is going to change when the grass is done growing. We'll see. All right. Let's see. What's next? Oof. Okay. That was 6-day-old zombie slayer. We can, this one's kind of boring from what I remember. Give me a second. I'm going to blow my nose. Okay, better. Dude, I was choking back so much laughter trying to get through that. Something is wrong with me. Anyways, do I want to read this one? This one's literally about nothing to write about. Maybe we'll save that one for later. Let's see. What's this guy? You know what? I don't even remember this one from the title. It doesn't stand out, but you know what? Let's go through it anyways. This is a narrative essay, apparently, written October 26, 2010, by yours truly, titled, Hey Kids, Listen to Your Parents. Excuse me. And it starts as thus. I can remember being a child, always fighting my parents' orders, be it bedtime, eating vegetables, or going to school. I hated authority then, and that mentally followed me throughout my life. If I would have given them the respect they deserved and changed my mindset, I wouldn't be rotting in this mental cage today. Ooh, where was I at back then? The day that I was sentenced to my cerebral prison started off no different than any other day. I don't remember writing this. What? Where am I going with this? Anyways, The day that I was sentenced to my cerebral prison started off no different than any other day. The sky was gray and sobbing. It had been for years. I could hear the typical fires roaring in the distance, eating up the remains of the hunt from the day before, and the smell that accompanied it was that of burning hair and flesh. I brushed my teeth as I listened to the sound of gunfire from a mile or so away, and I realized that the day was Wednesday. Shit, not again. Wednesday was my day to stand guard on the north end of the fort. I hated that post because it never got much action. I enjoyed being on the front lines, pumping out as much ammo as I could into our enemies' decaying bodies. I remember this essay now. Yeah, you'll see a common theme. I was really into zombies back then. Anyways, next paragraph. On my way to the armory, my commanding officer, Cup, stopped me for how do I say this? For reference? Cup is the person's last name in this story. It was also, and still is, like my best friend in life. It's his last name, so I put him into my story. And in this story, he's my commanding officer. And on my way to the armory, he stopped me. Commanding officer, or CO Cup, was an unusually large man. He is the only person I have known in this barren wasteland since the outbreak in 2013. Nearly 10 years ago, that managed... What? But... Huh? Let me try this sentence over. Okay, I see where we're going with this sentence. He is the only person I've known in this barren wasteland since the outbreak in 2013, nearly 10 years ago, that managed to put on more mass. He also used to be full of joy and positive attitude, but death and despair seemed to fill his heart. With a stern scowl and his cheeks flapping around like deflated balloons hanging off the side of his face, he said, "Be on your toes today, soldier. Word is more of them coming from the ridge in the northeast. Stay alert and sound the alarm if you get into any trouble." I snapped a salute back to him, wishing things could be different. I thought of all the great times we had from high school. Throughout our 20s, we both started families. Z-Day changed that. It changed everything. Everyone. After I geared up at the armory, I resentfully made my way to the north post where I sat and played solitaire with a deck of cards I found. While I was out on patrol one day, each card was scratched, torn, and burnt a little differently, and I had their face value memorized from the individual wear on their posterior. I might as well have just been playing with all the cards turned up, but I like the authentic feel of the game. Hours had passed before I realized it, and with no activity coming from the dusty, windblown terrain, my mind began to wander. I was thinking about how great life was until some clumsy scientist in a lab somewhere in the Arklay Mountains dropped a vial labeled reticuloendotheliosis. Reticuloendotheliosis virus, strain T. Yeah. Is that actually what the T virus is called? I don't know if that's like, if I made that up or if that's actually from something. I don't know. This was 16 years ago. Sue me. Anyways, so the scientists dropped the vial on the floor, unleashing terror upon the world, our once beautiful world. Before then, my son greeted me home from work every day with what he called a necktie hug. Oh, I remember those necktie hugs. God, he was so young and so sweet. And now he's 22 years old. Jesus. Anyways, my wife always had dinner ready that drove my olfactory nerve crazy with excitement. For those of you who don't know, olfactory is the nerve in your nose that's responsible for your sniffer, for smelling things. Once upon a lifetime ago, I was a massage therapist, so I know a lot of human anatomy and biology, and some of that might come out, and I'm sorry if you don't understand that terminology. Anyways, moving on. Good times. I think about these things before I drift off to sleep, hoping they'll give me pleasant dreams, and I did just that. Disobeying my direct orders, I drifted off to sleep to vicariously live through my memories. My dream came to an earth-shattering halt as I was awoken by a terrible pain in my leg. My first thought was that Lieutenant Malloy, Lieutenant Malloy. Last name to another good friend of mine at the time. Anyways, my first thought, man, this is like some serious nostalgia. You know what? I couldn't have done anything better for my birthday, I don't think. I'm having a blast. Okay, anyways, my first thought was that Lieutenant Malloy caught me sleeping on the job again, and he slammed the butt of his rifle into my shin. He always managed to find some new and uniquely painful way to wake me when I'm at this post. I screamed, "God, David, I'm going to kick yo fudgeberries." It wasn't Lieutenant Malloy, and it definitely wasn't his rifle. I reached for the remote alarm I had loosely dangling from my front right pocket. I fumbled around until I found the red button with 2 little black bumps raised from its surface. Days before, I put a semicircle under them with a marker to turn it into a happy face. I squeezed it hard as I struggled to reach for my sidearm, but the abomination had my right arm pinned under it and I couldn't move it to save my life. The last sound I heard before passing out from shock was the gravel crunching underneath the feet of a dozen or so soldiers coming to my rescue. Oof. Have you ever had a nightmare so vivid, so realistic, you swore it was real? When you wake up, your heart continues to race and sweat is rolling down your forehead, dripping in your eyes, blurring your vision? Well, that's what it felt like, only it wasn't a dream. It wasn't some fantasy cooked up by my subconscious while my body was regenerating itself. No. I could only assume it had been days since I was bitten by that infected creature. No way to really tell for sure, but when I suddenly snapped back to reality, I felt exhausted. My entire body ached as though it was on fire from the inside out. What's this? I thought. I could not control my own body movement. It was like I was a hero in a video game being controlled by some outside force determining my fate. I could see only what the host wants me to see. I caught a glimpse of Cup's glazed eyes staring at me through rusted metal bars. I could hear him and a group of higher-ups discussing what they should do with me. It didn't take me long to realize that I had become one of the things that we have been fighting off for the past decade. It was one of only a couple friends he had left from our previous life. So when the soldiers came to the sound of my alarm, he ordered them to lock me up and throw away every medical treatment they could at me. I made gnarling sounds and reached my arms through the bars. I willed my body to stop, but it wouldn't. I tried to scream, "I'm right here! Help me! Anything!" But nothing came out. How does this work? I'm like a computer with the CPU cut off from the rest of the components and they're operating under their own will. Weeks have passed. Every day I still get visits from John and David. Each day they seem to get a little bit stronger. Each day they come back to talk to me and my body continues to take swings at them through the bars. My leg fell off a few days ago. Now the body that I used to call my own is mostly swinging at their ankles. The only thing I have left is my mind while I'm trapped in this prison. I think about a lot of things. I try to play solitaire mentally, but I can't remember if it was the King of Hearts or the diamonds that was ripped halfway down its axis. My mind seems to be slowly degenerating. I guess that's a good sign that I'll be dying soon. Oh God, what a relief that'll be. The lights go out and I hear the vault locks engage. It must be 8:30 p.m. I thought. That's when most of us, well, them now, I guess, head to the mess hall, talk about who had the most kills for the day, and then head out or their barracks to retire for the evening. I wonder what they talk about now. Have they improved security around the North Gate, or how I wish I could just talk to them one last time. My mind races with the hundreds of scattered thoughts now. It's surreal. It's like watching every movie on Netflix all at the same time with all of them on repeat and fast forward. I try to just focus on one of them. It's me. When I was 6 or 7, my mother made Brussels sprouts. I hated those green little balls of nature's creation. I was arguing that I was full and didn't want any more, and she told me with her lovely blue eyes that I was not moving from the table until I finished them all. So I did what I did best. I disobeyed authority. I watched the mental video of myself putting the slimy, squishy green balls into my pocket, getting up from the table to show my mom the clean plate, and wondered to myself, if I was a better kid, if I listened to her then, if I didn't rebel against authority so much, would I have been alert and focused on my tasks a few weeks ago? Maybe I could have seen my infector coming from the distance and I'd have blown his fucking head off, like I had done so many savage monsters before, but right now, I just wish someone would do me that favor. Alright, and that was that one. That one got a little emotional there. I don't know why I got into that so much, but that was fun. Yeah, so hey kids, listen to your parents. You never know how that might affect you later on. Right, let's close this one. And how's the grass doing, by the way? Oh, it's dark. I can't see. Huh. All right, let's see. What do we got next? Oh, here's a fun one. This one I remember. I like this one. This one's we'll call it colorful. Let me take a drink of my. Never mind, that drink's empty. 1 second. There we go. Open up my new fresh can of what is this? This is Ghost energy drink, 0 sugar. Whatever. It's pretty good. A little bit of chapstick. All right. ENC 1101, October 7th, 2010, from yours truly. Nerfed Reflexes. Obviously, it doesn't say Nerfed Reflexes on here because that didn't exist 16 years ago. Okay, the title of this one is How to Avoid Wearing the Pink Shirt. Now, some of you probably have no idea what I'm talking about. This is one of those, if you know, you know. And I think I remember doing a pretty good job of explaining it. This is a process essay. Can't for the life of me remember what a process essay is. I feel like it's supposed to cover a process, right? Like first you do this thing, then you do that thing, next you do this thing, lastly you do this. I feel like I could be wrong. I don't know. It's been 16 years. Anyways. How to avoid wearing the pink shirt. Wearing a pink shirt is a simple metaphor for being a douchebag. Oh, well, there you go. I said it right there. First sentence, first line of this paragraph. Let's start over. Wearing a pink shirt is a simple metaphor for being a douchebag. Using the term douchebag metaphorically, of course. So really, wearing a pink shirt is just a metaphor for a metaphor, if you can follow that. Maybe you should stop while you're not too far behind, or maybe a more appropriate title for this essay would be something to convey to people that listed within this document. Or wait, what? Wait, I think I skipped a line. Let me try that sentence again. Oh, I screwed up here. That's supposed to be a comma. That's why it messed me up. Okay, so where was I? Or maybe a more appropriate title for this essay would be something to convey to people that listed within this document are certain processes and procedures one should follow to avoid being an arrogant person with an intolerable personality emanating an indescribable amount of idiocy. That is a mouthful. And now you can see why that wasn't the title. Let me do that sentence one more time. Where'd it go? Or maybe a more appropriate title for this essay would be something to convey to people that, listed within this document, are certain processes and procedures one should follow to avoid being an arrogant person with an intolerable personality emanating an indescribable amount of idiocy. If you find that you are often the one wearing the pink shirt, read on to understand how you may avoid it in the future and why it may be a good idea to do so. If you're not sure if you're wearing a pink shirt most of the time, the first thing to do would be to ask your peers. You could pose the question on Facebook and see what your peers have to say. You will find that people can be painfully honest when presented with a private question on a public forum. If you don't have any friends, it might be a direct result to your douchebaggery. And by the time you have finished reading this, you will have a better understanding why even your mother dreads calling you on Thanksgiving. Next paragraph. Stop being materialistic. There's a difference between staying on the cutting edge of technology with the fancy cars and cell phones and buying them just to keep atop your superiority complex so that you can rub it in people's faces. Do I really want to keep going with this? I mean, it's kind of funny. I remember the last line. Let's see. Let me read the last paragraph. By now, I hope that you have either discovered something about yourself or at least enjoyed reading about some very basic yet essential things to follow to expand your quality and quantity of friends. If, however, you were offended or appalled by any of the things outlined above, then by all means you may continue being referred to, metaphorically, as something that is used for vaginal lavage and enemas. Wear that salmon shirt proudly, you fluid-filled sack of genital cleanser. Everyone else will be enjoying themselves at the bar making fun of you. Yeah, so this essay just went on to explain what a jerk was, basically. There's some funny moments, but I don't know that I want to read through that one. Let's see, what else do we got here? Oh, here's another zombie one. This was October 12th, 2010. This is a timed essay. Okay, so probably had 10 minutes to write this or something. It looks pretty short. Let me get another drink of Ghost. Oh, I see it's daytime. Oh, wow. Yeah, that grass is really grown, huh? We've come a long way. There's some birds in the distance. Nice gentle breeze is still flowing. Huh. It's a pretty scene. By the way, for the record, I can't move. I literally can't do anything. This is the POV of the game. This is all there is to it. We're just sitting here, literally watching grass grow. Alright, so the title of this essay is How to Successfully Survive the First Year of a Zombie Outbreak. You guessed it, baby. Another essay about zombies. Alright, let's get into this. People don't often enough make plans for a zombie apocalypse. Most of them have a, it can't happen to me mentality, or just say that it seems ultra unrealistic. I say to them, it never hurts to be prepared. Being prepared for a zombie attack can be the difference between life and death. Build an armory. If you're sitting on your lazy boy catching up on the latest episode of Criminal Minds that you recorded with your TiVo when your undead neighbor comes knocking on your door, begging for your brains, what do? Example scenarios like this are things you need to think about. For every conceivable situation, you need to have an escape plan. Do you have time to Facebook to all your friends of your new flesh-rotting neighbor and ask them what to do? Or do you reach above the doorframe and grab that 12-gauge double-barrel cannon of glory that has been sitting there for just the occasion? Careful placement of weapons is one key to surviving the initial outbreak. Have at least one weapon stashed in every room of the house so that within seconds, you can be armed and ready to protect yourself. You wouldn't want to be caught at your most vulnerable time defecating and no way to prevent yourself from becoming zombie food. Now do you? Also, get into a routine of putting your keys in the same location every time you walk into your home so you won't be scrambling around looking for them when it's time to bail. This brings me to the next point. Escape plan. Have one. Now that you've turned your ex-human neighbor into a pink mist, what next? Somewhere in your house is a duffel bag packed with essentials. Extra ammunition, clothes, first aid kits, and toiletries are a good start. Grab this bag, your wife, and your children. Mother-in-laws that are currently living with you are completely optional. And run for the vehicle. Hopefully, you made a conscious decision when purchasing your vehicle that you won't be stuck trying to ram wave upon wave of enemies in a Toyota Prius. A heavier vehicle will be necessary here. Preferably, you have a truck with a brush guard so the vehicle will take as little punishment as possible when delivering the maximum damage possible. Now that you're on the move, let's talk about where you will go. You should have discussed these options with your very close friends by now. In case telephone towers go down and cut off communication with society, there should be a meetup point for all of your friends to go to and hold out for X amount of hours or days or time or whatever until everyone that was supposed to meet up gets there. Also, a couple of backup locations would be nice if the first stronghold is overtaken. As your friends with a strong will to survive show up, inspect them all for risk of possible infection. Be cautious of anyone that is covering up a fresh wound. The infection spreads by saliva entering the bloodstream when bitten by a zombie. So if you notice that your mother-in-law has a fresh bite wound, do her and the rest of your friends a favor by placing a few bullets into the back of her cranial cavity. Once most or everyone has arrived, it's time to move on to a more secure location. If you intend to make it through the first year, your new castle should be in a city within a very low population. The lower the population of the city, the less humans that can be bitten, the less zombies you have to kill to stay alive. An island or out in the country with fertile lands to grow crops are both good options. If the military fails at quarantining the outbreak, hijacking an aircraft carrier is an excellent option. Whatever you decide, you should move with vigilance to your new residence. If it's going to be a very long drive, you can come up with games along the way. See who can shoot the most zombies out of a moving vehicle along the way, or who can splatter the most with your petrol-powered battering ram. Be creative and come up with games that the whole family will love. Once you arrive at your new residence, scout the area, grab your stash of weapons, and set up a perimeter. As adrenaline leaves your body and hunger sets in, it's time to start thinking about nourishment. Since you'll be unable to drive to the nearest Chinese restaurant, now specializing in sweet and sour zombie meat, or hit up Burger King for the all-new Undead Whopper, scour the local grocery store and stock up on as many non-perishable food items as you can to get you through the first few months until the crops start growing. In the unfortunate event that your mother-in-law has somehow managed to survive this long and the food supply is running low, there is always the option to cook her. Odds are she is a non-contributing member of the new society anyways. So yeah, by now you should have realized that a steady flow of food, secured your homes with a robustly enforced boundary, and have enough ammunition stocked up to protect yourself from a large, mindless army. You now have what it takes to get through the first year of the apocalypse. It's now up to you what to do from here. If you couldn't tell, I did not like my mother-in-law very much. What else do we got? Do I want to read that one? I don't know. Oh, it's daytime. How's that grass? Oh, wow. That grass is really growing, huh? I've got it on like a fast mode. If you're curious, you can check the link in the description. I always drop my links to the games that I'm playing in the description of the video. This one in particular, if you play it on its normal intended mode, it's supposed to take like 3 weeks for the grass to grow. But I've got it sped up a little bit faster so we can just sit back and relax and kind of feel like we're watching some progress, because I don't know about you guys, but I ain't got time to upload a 3-week long video, and I doubt any of you have got the time to watch a 3-week long video. And it's nighttime, so let's look for another story to read. What else do we got here? Let's see. This one is just a descriptive essay. I think I did a pretty good job, though. Like, some of these, just kind of like glancing through it quickly. Some nice alliteration. I think I did a pretty good job, but I don't know if that's entertaining. What else do we got? Let's see. Another timed essay. Oh, here's another. What is this? How to turn stinky time into fun time. Journal entry. I have 6 journal entries here. What's this about? What are your goals for your college education? Oh, these are like legit journal entries with chosen topics. What's this one? If I was stuck in an elevator with any famous person, I would love for it to be Frank O'Connor. Currently working on the franchise development director of 343 Industries. Wow. Yeah. Bungie. I was big into Halo back then. Alright. I guess that's about it. I don't really want to read any of these other ones, I don't think. What's this one? Another timed essay. Post-apocalypse. You know what? Post-apocalypse. It's something zombie related. All right, let's get through this one. November 30th, 2010. Post-apocalyptic point of view. If you would have hypothetically asked me several years ago about what my thoughts were on a zombie outbreak, I'd have told you no government, tons of guns, and loads of adventure. Hell yeah. Thinking back now, I wouldn't wish this on anyone. Sure, a world in chaos without any order may seem like a good time, but I assure you it is not. There is a huge contrast in my way of thinking now, in opposition to my thoughts, prior to this epidemic. Hello, testing. Okay, just making sure. I had a little cough there. Okay, so where was I? There is a huge contrast in my way of thinking now, in opposition to my thoughts prior to this epidemic. I used to envision a world filled with my close friends, tearing up the streets with big guns, driving fast cars at breakneck speeds, and nice hot metal to eat afterwards. Huh? Was I talking about a gun there, shooting zombies? I don't know. Anyways, when the day is over, we could relax, play some video games, and wind down. Wait, what? This is okay. I'm thinking back, bro. I'm so lost. I'm lost in the sauce. What the heck? When the day is over, we could relax, play some video games to wind down and start all over again. This, of course, was all fantasy. There is no such concept as friendship anymore. All of my friends have been consumed by the infection. The only concept humans have left is living and non-living. I have no family left, no one to run to for help. In this new world, it's every man for himself mentality, and you either survive or you die trying. Our race, as a whole, has lost the idea of teamwork, and there's no one left to trust. This creates a very stressful atmosphere, with everyone staying on their toes. No one wants to chance the opportunity to relax, not even for a simple card game. And there are no restaurants open for when you're feeling lazy and just want to run to a fast food joint for a bite to eat. Or I guess technically in today's day and age, DoorDash. There are no doctors, electricity, or running water available. There is only you and a nomadic way of life. Gone are the days of steamy home-cooked meals served on sparkling clean china plates and endless chatter around the dinner table. Without the ability to start a fire, in fear that it would draw unwanted creatures to our campsite, now there is only raw varmint for sustenance. Eating with our hands, and the only sound that can be heard are those from survivors reloading ammunition into their empty clips. Every day is a struggle. Most of it is spent scavenging for what little supplies we are left. Every pawn shop, outdoorsman store, and super center has been pillaged for their ammo and medical supplies. There's no gasoline left anywhere, and as much as I'd love to bring that dusty Chevy Camaro roaring back to life, I can't. The lack of law allows us to accomplish this, but unfortunately it bears great trouble. There is no authority to answer to anymore, so when someone gets the gumption to break one of the commandments, well, they're not prosecuted for their crimes. That's just the way life is, and we have to deal with it. what I once believed to be an awesome experience and would, breed amazing stories that I'd be able to tell my grandchildren has turned out to be a total effing nightmare. Humanity has little hope left. I would give anything to travel back in time so I could prevent this crisis from ever happening. Things are not always what they seem or how we imagine them to be. Be happy for what little time you have left and make the best of it. Sadly, my happy days have ended. That was a fun one. If you're curious, by the way, these essays that I've read to you, I passed my ENC 1101 class with flying colors. Absolutely wild. Every single essay got 100%, except for one. There was one of them I got marked off because I used I used a semicolon in a wrong spot or something like that. But yeah, outside of that, I had over a 4.0 in this class because I also did extra credit. So this, if you're curious, is what great essays looked like 16 years ago. If you're younger than me and you've been in college recently, I don't know if these would qualify as passing anymore. Times have changed, and so have the requirements, I guess. I don't know. To be fair, I haven't seen any college work recently, but I do know, like, as my baby boy, as he was growing up, like, math has always been my favorite subject, right? I just absolutely loved math. And don't get me wrong, I liked creative writing classes too. I thought they were fun. I like being creative mentally, you know what I mean? But artistically, like, I could play the guitar, I could play the drums, right? I could play a lot of musical instruments. I could play a freaking recorder, whatever, right? I can pick up an instrument and I can play it, and I can play it fairly well. I'm not an expert at it by any means, but I can't create music, if that makes sense, right? I can only emulate other music. So I can, like, download tablature off the internet, or, pull it up and, play a song from reading tablature, or I can play the piano or keyboard by reading sheet music. I know how to FACE, every good boy does. Like, I know how to read the notes, right? But I don't, and I can play them, but I can't create something musically. And I'm kind of the same way with, like, art too, like drawing and painting, like that kind of art. Like, I could see an image in my head, right? I see something that I think is awesome and that I want to bring to real life and just see it form. But it's nothing. Like, I've never been able to accomplish that. I can't get my vision translated to paper, if that makes any sense at all. Like, I'm thinking back to the days of when I was in middle school, right? I took what is the name of that class? I don't know, but we had to learn how to do, like, 1-point perspective, 2-point perspectives. It was for, like, engineering drawings. I was, like, using a ruler and T-squares and all this stuff to draw, like, perfect lines and geometric shapes and stuff like that. And it was also the same class I did silkscreen t-shirt pressing in. I did photography, like, with, old school, like, actually film, putting it in the developer in the dark room with the red light on and all that jazz. But we also had, like, for the silk screening, what I was getting at, a little bit of a tangent there, but for silk screening, right, we had those old school projectors. Some of you older folks might remember them, where they were just, like, plastic, transparent plastic sheets that you would put on a projector, and then it would shine a light bright up towards the ceiling, and then there was a lens that would reflect it onto the wall. So some of you know exactly what the heck I'm talking about. But we can use that technology, right, if we found something small and project an image on the wall, and then we could take the silk screen thing over to the wall and then draw it on that. So we were, like, tracing it, right? So that's in my head, kind of like what I think about when it comes to art. Like, I have this image in my head that I would just love to slap onto a projector and let my fingers outline the stencil. You know what I mean? To create, but I can never do that. I can never get the image in my head projected onto something. What the heck was I getting at with? I was getting to a point, like I was going to come full circle, but I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, math. Wow, what a tangent. How the hell did we get there? Yeah, math was always my best and favorite subjects in school. Anything that comes to logic, I guess, is really fun to me, which is why I like making builds and ARPGs and stuff like that. But anyways, I remember as my son was growing up, trying to help him out with his math classes, and by the time he got to 9th grade, he was in like an advanced class, and he was doing his time was spent half of his day was like doing high school classes, and then the other half of his day was spent doing college classes, starting in 9th grade, so that by the time he finished high school, he was actually going to graduate high school with an associate's degree. Like, it was insane. So I was like trying to help him out with math and stuff, and the theories and stuff that he was doing in math were blowing me away, and it was stuff that I never learned about, even when I went to college, right? Like, it's crazy. All of that to say, going back to these essays that I wrote past 16 years ago, they may not count as a passing grade today for whatever reason, because things change. Technology change, education has ramped up. It's wild. Anyways, yeah, so today's my birthday. Happy birthday, me. We have officially been watching grass grow for 47 minutes. Let's see what this looks like as the sun comes up on this luscious green field that started with nothing. That's a lot of grass. I feel like it's at a pretty good height to bust out the lawnmower at this point. But again, I can't do anything in this game. I can press tab, and that's about it. I can show encounters, which there's a black hole. What? Yo, was there a black hole in the sky? And I didn't see it because I was reading? Aww. Okay, well, I'm glad you guys got to watch a black hole. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun sharing these stories. And I hope you enjoyed them too. There's a little dive into the mind of let's see, how old am I? 44. 44 minus 16 is what, 28? That sounds right. 28. Yeah, 20. Those little stories will give you a dive into the mind of a 28-year-old Nerfed Reflexes. Anyways, I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. I'm gonna go find some cake. I want some cake. It's my birthday. I deserve it. Or actually, you know what? My favorite dessert? Key lime pie, baby. Like, made with real limes from the Florida Keys. I don't think I'm gonna find any real key lime pie in Georgia, though. I don't think that's possible. That's like a Florida thing. But you know what? I can go to Kroger or Publix or something and take a look. What is your favorite dessert or birthday cake style? Right? I mean, okay, so birthday cake, if it had to be cake and it couldn't be any other dessert for me, honestly, first of all, it'd have to be the butter icing, not that cheap, crappy icing that was on like most cakes. Well, I don't know what's on most cakes now, but many years ago when I was a kid, that icing just kind of like makes me ill. But like that buttercream icing on like a red velvet cake or like on a carrot cake, oh man. Yeah. A Hershey pie sounds really good too. Oh, actually, you know what? Okay, so one dessert really stands out in my mind. There was a place in Jacksonville, Florida, I think it was, called O'Charlie's. It's like a pub, like an ale house. Yeah, kind of like an Applebee's or something, you know, a sports bar. There we go. That's the term I was looking for. Anyways, they had this thing. It was like pirate themed. Captain something or others, like Hershey pie or whatever, and then they had another one that was like a Nutter Butter like pie. And dude, I tell you what, I'm a sucker for anything peanut butter. And I'm like, yo, a Nutter Butter like pie? I'm so in. So I ordered that and it blew my mind. I took one bite of it and I could feel like electricity jolting throughout every inch of my body. Oh, it was so good. So I ordered an entire whole pie. I brought it home. I got really fat. I would love to have one of those right now. That sounds amazing. Yeah, what's your favorite dessert? I'm gonna go find some dessert now. All right. I hope you had fun. I'll see you guys in the next, real gaming video, I guess. Bye.